Hey y'all, and I want to come on and share just a little bit more insight about myself. I I know I did a video recently on how I got here to this platform. I don't know if it's out there yet, but anyway, it's coming if it's not out there yet. How I got to this platform and the people that were instrumental in me getting here. But I want to keep on with, sharing some insight. And these videos will start to come, a little bit more frequently. And then, let me see, they're under Tangie's thoughts. But anyway, I want to share with you guys right now of how I became a group fitness instructor. I think it was my Welcome Again video where I shared how how I didn't know I was to be a group fitness instructor. I never dreamt of becoming a group fitness instructor. But anyway, I was 16 years old, you guys, 16. And I knew at the age of 13, I'll say 13, 14, I knew that I wanted to be the highest ranking official in the military. So at the age of 16, I'm in the gym and I'm working out. I'm training. I'm just training. I'm going to the gym. I'm working out and I'm training. And her name is Brenda. Her name is Brenda. And I got a little bit of a story to share with you guys. Brenda and Kirk Jones are bodybuilders. But anyway, it was Brenda. But anyway, Brenda used to teach step aerobics. That's how I got started. I got started with step aerobics. And I tell you, now this is in the late 80s, 86, 87. But anyway, and one day, I'm just, doing my thing, following Brenda lead. And she asked me one day, she said, "You want to teach this class?" And I said, "Yeah." Y'all, I ain't know the first thing about teaching a class, but that's how it got started. Now, I taught that class, y'all. I did. I taught it, but I was all over the place. But I say all that to say that she saw something in me. Because like I said, I never dreamt of being a group fitness instructor, let alone, years later becoming a personal trainer. So Brenda and Kirk Jones in Selma, Alabama. And that's how I got started. And then I became a group fitness instructor at the age of 19. So I got started at age 16, y'all, just teaching a class, just teaching a class. She saw something in me. And I just never knew how much of a blessing that group fitness class would be. And it was I had asked my mom, I'm checking the time because today is Tuesday the 22nd. It was April the 2nd. It was April the 2nd. And I was in Selma. That was on a Wednesday. So tomorrow would be 3 weeks. And I already had been asking my mom. I said, "Mom," I said, "do you know if the gym, Brenda and Kirk gym still open?" And she was like, "No, I don't know." She said, "Actually, I think they've closed it down." So that particular day, I was getting ready to book a hotel because I was a vendor. What one was this? Last Saturday in Selma at a health fair at Tabernacle of Praise Church. They held a health fair and I was one of the vendors. So I was trying to, I was booking me a hotel or looking at booking me a hotel. And I just so happened asked one of the young girls that were not checking me in, just I was trying to see if I was going to stay at this particular hotel. I didn't stay at this particular hotel. But anyway, nonetheless, I asked her about this gym, if she knew if this gym was still open. And the young girl, her name was Baby Doll, and she's a very cute young girl. But anyway, she told me that gym is still open because she goes to it sometimes. And I said, "Well, can you tell me, kind of how to get there? Because I don't go on this. When I do go to Selma, I don't go on this particular side of Selma a lot. But anyway, she told me how to get there. And sure enough, okay, so I get to the parking lot. And it just brings back a whole lot of memories. Good memories, y'all, good memories. And as I'm getting out of my vehicle, I started to walk up the stairs. Started walking up the stairs. And when I tell you guys, it just brought me immense joy. And then when I get up to the door, I'm looking at all of the tank tops and t-shirts with bodybuilders on it, just like I had left it, or when I left there. Now I'm 17, 18. I left home. I graduated in June of 88. I was gone by November of 88. So somewhere late 87, I hadn't gone to this gym, you guys. So that's been well on 54. That's been 37, almost 40 years ago. But anyway, so the gym, it appeared to look the same just right there in the door. So I'm walking through the door and I'm just happy. Like I said, I just never knew how much of group fitness would be a blessing to me, but it has been. And I go in, I walk up the door, and I'm moving forward, and the door is right here, y'all. So I look back over my shoulder. Oh, Lord. I look back over my shoulder, and Brenda was like, she didn't look no different, you guys. She didn't look no different. We both caught eyes, and she started welling up, okay? I said, Brenda, do you remember me? Always been very soft-spoken. When I say she looked the same, y'all, always very soft-spoken, petite. She said, yes, I do. She told me that morning, she said she asked God, God, what am I doing? I feel like I'm not serving you. I'm not, serving my purpose in life. She still teaches classes, guys. She's still teaching classes down there in Selma. So when she said that, we both, we just hugged one another, and we just got very, very full. Because she said that she woke up that morning asking God, was it just in vain? I hadn't seen her, y'all, in almost 40 years. And I told her how group fitness was a blessing in my life. Okay? I told her how group fitness was a blessing in my life. So I want you guys to know that, one, bodybuilders is still open. Two, God, he has a way, y'all, even when we can't see things, of making everything just come to light. Because she had no idea that I was coming there that day. And for her to tell me she had asked God, what was she doing? I told her, you've been a blessing all of this time. And in my bio on YouTube, you guys, my channel is dedicated to women. I'm telling Brenda all of this stuff. And we've been chatting it up ever since. Ever since. And yeah, I was just telling her how much, what she taught me all those years ago, how it had been a blessing in my life. And with my YouTube channel, it was dedicated to women. And I say, in my bio, it says how much I love God and music and fitness, and we're all about wellness here. But it also said that I asked to be a light in this world, even if I can just only touch one person. So I say all that to say, Brenda didn't even know that she was a light and that she had touched at least one person, because I was there as a witness to let her know how much of a blessing she was, and she still is in my life. I get emotional. We all got stories, y'all. We all got stories. And I got a lot of stories here. And I've told you guys, I have 3 kids, 3 grandkids. I have, out of those 3 kids and 3 grandkids, I have 2 sons. one son and one grandson. And I'm trying to actually set some really, continue on with some really good standards, with my children and my grandkids. And I just want to reach people the best way that I can. When I cried out to God, I asked him to use me with the gifts and the talents that he gave me. It's more than, on what it appears to be on the surface with trainers. It's more than that. It's way more than that. So I started off as a group fitness instructor at 19, transitioned somewhere around the age of 32, 33 to being a personal trainer. And here I am today. You'll probably hear me say that I hadn't taught in a while. I hadn't taught a group fitness. I hadn't taught a step aerobic class. I know it got to be about 15 years or longer with the step aerobics, but you never lose it. It's still the same basics, and you're still gonna get the same thing out of it, just doing the basics. And really, the basics is all we need, guys. And then with group training and personal training, that's been about 7 or 8 years. And then, with one-on-one training, that's probably, 15 months, somewhere up in there. I hadn't done all of that. But I say all that to say, too, is that we all evolve in life at some point. And when I ask you guys to slow down on some of my videos to get some foundations in, because even when I was out there training, and I still am right now, I'm just doing it. I'm doing it differently. When I asked God to use me too, guys, I had no idea I was going to be on social media. I've never used social media. I've never had to use social media. I've been training here in Montgomery over, I think my son, he's 27. He was about 4 or 5, over 20 years, okay? Word of mouth. I'm not bragging on myself, but I've trained politicians, news anchors, doctors, lawyers. I've trained a lot of people here in Montgomery, and it's always been about word of mouth. I've never had to use the social media. Word of mouth. But I asked God to use me, so I have to be obedient to his word, so I'm here on social media. I'm here on social media being used, and I actually want you guys, anything that I put out here, and you'll hear me say, I can't talk about anything that I haven't lived through, okay? I'm not out here just speaking to the wind either. So when I ask you guys to slow down, it's honestly, we need to slow down. I don't want to get too much, deeper into that conversation. The videos will, they will come. They're coming. They're coming. And I pray that anything that I share here is a blessing to you guys, because it's really a blessing, to me, that I'm able to do what I do. Being a group fitness instructor or a personal trainer, and I've been blessed in this field, you guys. Blessed. I've met a lot of people, a lot of good people. And those people are still in my life. And most of them, out here in the fitness world, wherever I go, for one, I don't meet strangers. But people remember you, anyway, either your name, your face, whatever. People remember you for something. And for the most part, I think I've acquired a strong name. I have a very strong name. And like I said, it's not about me bragging or anything like that. Sometimes when people look at or try to, when people, when you're kind, that's what I'll say. When you're kind, people, will probably tend to say, she kind, she easy, to take advantage of you and stuff like that. Then when you are a little bit confident, people will probably try to say, you're being arrogant. No. It's a difference between, humbling yourself and being kind, and people, they think that they are getting over on you, or they think they're mistreating you. Now, maybe they are, but it's no sweat off of my back or the person's back who knows, a little bit more or have lived a little bit differently. And God just made me like that. So, and then with the confidence part of it, it's not being arrogant, it's just being confident. So I pray y'all are finding value. And I said it on these videos before or in previous videos. Anything that I share here, and I'll continue to say it, I won't talk about anything that I hadn't experienced, okay? Nothing. Relationship wise, nothing. Health wise, nothing. Emotional, mental, spiritual, all of it. This is a wellness channel, you guys. This is a wellness, am I saying that right, channel? This is a wellness platform. And I thank y'all for supporting me. I really do. I really do. And either, it's just like with God too, I'll say this. Either you're going to be with me, because it was like that out there in the fitness industry. We were hardcore when we were out there working out. When you came to me, you were going to get your money's worth. So we were hardcore. Everybody don't like hardcore. But at the same time, we had fun too. So either you're going to like me or you're not going to like me. My message will get to whoever it's supposed to get to. And even, I'll say this, even if you're not for me, I promise you, I know if you listen to some of the things that I'll say, it'll make you think and pause. And I feel certain if you're able to receive it now. You have to be able to receive it. Be honest with yourself. Be really honest with yourself. Because when you really think about it, if it's anything that's, hitting your spirit or triggering you in some type of way, whether good or bad, stop and pause and think about it. Okay, stop and pause and think about it. I'll encourage you to do that. Thank you guys once again for supporting me. If you like anything that I'm saying and doing, please share. Now, they say subscribe out here because that's the terminology, and I'm still brand new to this stuff too, guys. And I'm learning the jargon out here, the language, in these internet streets. It says subscribe, so I do. I want you to subscribe, but I look at it as support. I learned that from Tony Gaskins, okay? And that's another thing. I want you guys in my journey, and I'm still on a journey, you guys, still on a journey. R.C. Blake's, Tony Gaskins, Millie Jackson of the Kingdom of God, and Kyla Jackson. They have always been instrumental and continue to be in my wellness journey, okay? I want to throw that out there. So I'm not just throwing their names out there just to be throwing it out there. I'm not. They have been instrumental. Thank you guys again for supporting me here. Share, like, subscribe, share, and thank you for your support. And until the next video, God bless and be well.